Yes! Oh, it is. It is. Donno Daily on a Victory Monday here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. I am Alex Donno. Look at my new t-shirt. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Cobra Kai, baby. I'm so proud of this because I got this for like $7.80 at Walmart. I'm like, man, that's the coolest shirt ever. I got to buy it, and I can still afford to buy all the Christmas presents after that. I'm in a great mood here on a Victory Monday. Miami Dolphins get it done. That's the way I would describe that victory. Wasn't pretty. Not a whole lot of style points were earned there, although there were 3 things that I really loved coming out of that game, and we'll talk about it. But results-oriented business, Miami Dolphins have now won 6 straight games. Who would have thought, right? 1-7 start to the year, 7-game losing streak. To come out of that with a 6-game winning streak, you've got an opportunity. Fingers crossed, you got an opportunity to close out the season with a 9-game winning streak, if I could be so greedy to even talk about that. Yeah, there were some things I didn't love about that 31-24 win over the Jets yesterday, but there were plenty of things that I did love, and we will talk about it. And, I know that I rubbed some people the wrong way with the title of this episode. And I do write the titles, by the way. Manny doesn't write them. Ethan doesn't write them. I write the titles for every episode. Tua had a clunker is the opening of that title. Now, the Tua stands, Tua and on. You don't need to be offended by that, right? Because I know that with the way that the national media and even a lot of Dolphin fans like to judge Tua on every throw, right? If he makes a great throw, franchise quarterback, makes a poor throw, the guy sucks. Oh, we deal with so many absolutes with Tua. My point is, not a great performance yesterday. It wasn't all bad. In fact, there were worse quarterbacking performances over the weekend. Look at Tom Brady. Woof. There were worse quarterbacking performances over the weekend. Even though Tua didn't have his best game, the Dolphins still won, and his body of work over the past 6 games has been excellent. So my point is, just because I refer to a Tua performance as a clunker, where he threw 2 bad interceptions and probably should have had a third, doesn't mean he's not the guy, right? Sometimes you can just accept that wasn't a very good performance. He had a great performance the week prior, and we can live with it, okay? So before we go any further, we're going to have a great show today. We're going to talk lots of Miami Dolphins with Alfredo Arteaga from 3 Yards Per Carry. He joins us every Monday. He's going to be on with us in about 15 minutes. At around 3:40, we're going to talk Miami Heat, talk about clunkers. That was a clunker yesterday in Detroit. We're going to talk Miami Heat with Ricky J. Mark, who's another show favorite. He's going to join us at around 3:40 p.m. today. So I have a lot on my mind, and I want to remind you guys that we have an official sports bar here on Donno Daily, and that is the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill. Oh, man. We had a watch party out at the Quarterdeck last Wednesday night to watch some Heat basketball. They won that game, by the way. You're welcome. I had a great time. Cold beer, delicious food. Seafood is so great, the burgers and sandwiches. And, yeah, if you want to wet your whistle at the Quarterdeck, they've got drink specials that go 24/7, man. All day, every day, the 2-for-1 happy hour. The 2-for-1 happy hour never ends. Guys, if you want to find the location nearest to you or check out their menu before you go, and the menu is fantastic. I love the buffalo shrimp. I love to build my own poke bowl. I love the baby back ribs. There are so many amazing options at the Quarterdeck. There are locations all over. It's a great place to watch a big game. It's a great place to watch a UFC pay-per-view fight for zero cover charge. So if you want to find the location nearest to you, visit them on the web at quarterdeckrestaurants.com. The Quarterdeck, come for the food, stay for the fun. And guys, NFL's still going on. Bowl games and college football. There are so many things to bet on. And we have an official sports book at Donno Daily, and that's BetUS.com. We've been killing it getting our viewers signed up at BetUS.com. If you haven't done it yet, guys, there are so many opportunities to have fun and make some money this holiday season. BetUS.com is a full-service sports book. And yes, it is available in Florida. You can sign up and make money and deposit at BetUS and withdraw at BetUS, even if you're a Florida resident. It is available in Florida. So get on it, my friends. BetUS.com. We have a special deal for you. This is the best bonus in the betting industry. You're not going to find this anywhere else. Sign up with our show code 5RSN125, and they're going to give you a 125% bonus on your deposit. 5RSN125, and bet sports, play in their casino. It's like having Las Vegas in your pocket. Pop culture props, Live betting, by the way, which is key. You can bet during games, which is unbelievable. BetUS.com. You bet, you win, you get paid. BetUS.com. David writes in, the Dolphins beat the Jets. Bring out the pooper scooper. David, you can only beat the team that's in front of you. Okay. I know that during this cute little win streak the Dolphins are on, it's actually a very long win streak. They've beaten some bad teams. Yes, they've beaten the Jets twice, putrid. They beat the Giants, putrid. They beat Carolina, good defense, but overall, really bad team. They beat Houston, awful team. People seem to forget, though, they also beat the Baltimore Ravens, and they dominated them. I mean, Miami's defense had arguably the performance of the season this year. And I'm not just talking about the Dolphins defense. I'm talking about anybody's defense. They were so good against Baltimore. It's like people gloss over that Ravens win on Thursday night as if it didn't happen, because I keep seeing people bring it up like, oh yeah, the Dolphins, they've won some games, but they're only beating bad teams. Well, Baltimore Ravens are a pretty good team, bro. Like, let's give the Dolphins a little bit of credit. You know, for Christmas, I need somebody to buy me a new circle light. This thing's got a bad fuse or something. I've been having problems with that the last couple of weeks. That's why when you see it go off, it's like, oh wait, it's really dark. No, it's not so dark. Now I look extremely pale. Some people would argue I look better when it's dark and you can't see my face that was made for radio, but I like to have semi-professional looking lighting here. It's Mush Monday, he says. Oh man. How about this? Chris, thank you so much. He says, just getting the families. I'll have to catch the replay. Oh, how dare you? Like, let your family wait, Chris. Are you making an airport run or something during the middle of the show? Tell your family they're at MIA or that FLL airport. Just tell them, hey, wait till like 4:30. I'll get out there after Donno Daly is going. G.A. Kane fan says, what is wrong with Pale? I guess nothing. You would never know. If you met me somewhere outside of Miami, or even if you meet me in Miami, you'd probably think that guy's a tourist. There's no way he's from Florida. Very pale skin. Like, there's no way that guy's a local. That guy must be from Iowa or something. No, sorry. Born and raised here my entire life. Merry Christmas, by the way, not only to G.A. Kane fan, but to everyone who's watching us right now. Whether you're watching live or you're watching a replay, do us a favor, my friends, and smash that like button. Be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to 5 Reasons Sports on YouTube. So the nitty gritty from the Miami Dolphins 31-24 win over the Jets yesterday. I don't think the game would have been that close had the Dolphins not been coming off the bye week. Being real here, Miami looked very rusty in the first half of that game. Outscored 10-0 in the first quarter. 17-10 was the score at halftime. Dolphins kind of shut out the Jets in the second half. The defense shut out the Jets offense. The only points the Jets scored in the second half were on the Tua pick six. So Miami's defense came alive. They had 6 sacks on the day, my friends. Jerome Baker had a huge day with 2 of those. I love seeing Andrew Van Ginkel come alive again lately. The Dolphins defense was thumping in the second half of that game. Had it not been for the bye week, which I think killed a little bit of the momentum, the Dolphins would have won that game by a lot more. And I'm also willing to say that had they been playing against an opponent better than the New York Jets, they probably would have lost that game with the way that they dug themselves into a hole early. But thankfully, it was the Jets. Thankfully, the Dolphins had time to find their footing and really dominate the game from early third quarter on. Tua Tagovailoa in this one. Maybe a clunker is a little bit unfair, but he was late on a lot of his throws. Even a couple of the throws that he did complete, like the touchdown pass, the game-winning touchdown to Devontae Parker, that throw was a little bit late. He had a ball that was just in the air too long and underthrown to Albert Wilson in the first half that would have been a touchdown had it been thrown better. And he threw 2 interceptions, like 2 poor interceptions, poor decisions. I know Tuanon was trying to blame the pick six on Hunter Long for not coming back, but it was just a poor decision by Tua to even throw that ball into that coverage. So I'm certainly not giving him a pass for that. And also, he should have had a 3rd interception thrown in the game, another one in the first half that was dropped by the Jets defensive back. So that was overall a forgettable performance by Tua Tagovailoa. Oh, and let me say this. My guy, Big John Stud. First of all, thank you for the super chat, Big John Stud. And let me mention, guys, I watched the game yesterday at Big John Stud's crib. What a dude, man. We had an awesome time. And he is as enthusiastic watching games as you would expect, because I'd never watched a game with Big John Stud before. But you hear his very passionate reactions when he comes on the show on Wednesdays. He is a trip to watch the games with. He's yelling at the TV. He's going crazy. Dude, thank you again, sir, for your hospitality and for the beer. I had an awesome time watching the game yesterday with Big John Stud. So, okay, I don't want to make this a smear Tua session, because you guys know I'm on board. Like, over the past couple of months now during this winning streak, I have really come around on Tua Tagovailoa. I'm not as much of a skeptic as I used to be. I talked about the bad, but guys, there was also a lot of good. First and foremost, what did Tua do and the offense as a whole after throwing the pick six, which was a deflating moment? You guys heard Hard Rock Stadium, which was pretty rowdy and pretty loud in favor of the Dolphins. Very few Jets fans made the trip this time around. It was mostly Dolphin fans out there, which you can't always say that, Dolphins versus Jets. It was like letting the air out of a balloon when they threw the pick six, and that gave the Jets a 24-24 tie late in the fourth quarter. It was wind out of the sails from those fans. But then Tua Tagovailoa and the offense get the ball back, and they engineer a 9-play, 75-yard drive where Tua made good plays on that drive, including the 11-yard touchdown to Devontae Parker. That's how you respond. That's character building. Listen, it's normal. No matter how good of a quarterback you are in this league, you're going to have games where your fastball isn't there. You're going to have some games where you play down to the opposition the way that the Dolphins did to the Jets yesterday. But if you can bounce back from mistakes and score points, game-winning drives, I love that. And we haven't had to see too many game-winning drives during this winning streak. It's mostly been one-way traffic for the Dolphins. Ironically enough, the two closest games during this streak have been the games against the New York Jets. But listen, anytime you get to run out there, lead a game-winning drive, I will take it. I like it. And then another thing that I love from Tua Tagovailoa, that 9-yard run, you know the one. He lowered the shoulder and he obliterated Michael Carter, who was not expecting Tua to do that. And you saw how fired up Tua was. He hit the truck stick on that play. Instead of sliding or just going down easy, he said, I'm going to knock this fool over and I'm going to pick up a couple of extra yards on this play. And he fucking did it, and that was fantastic. Yes. Barney says, Brady did not even have a touchdown. So, by the way, Tom Brady, he may have sabotaged my fantasy playoffs. I still have a prayer of a chance to win my playoff game. Tom Brady is my fantasy starting quarterback on my team that's in the playoffs. He's had a fantastic year. I give him credit up to this point. Asshole goes out there last night, 5 fantasy points, no touchdowns. I might lose my fantasy matchup, and I'm going to hold Tom Brady accountable for that. I'm going to hold him accountable for that, man. Zachary B says talking about Tua, he makes plays when it matters most. And on that run, that was amazing. So, bros, I love that play. I love the toughness. I love how pumped up he got after that. I was watching Tua's media session, though, after the game, and he even said, yeah, remind me not to do that again. And Tua is such a nice guy. Like, you could tell Tua felt bad for Michael Carter because he knows that he embarrassed him. Like, he embarrassed Michael Carter by bowling him over the way that he did. And I'm sure that there are guys in the locker room like, bro, you let Tua run you over? What are you doing, man? You let Tagovailoa, you let Tua turn the ball over, run over you like that? So he's getting some flack for that. It's like Tua felt bad for the guy. It's like, dude, you made a great play. You clowned him in the process, and that's okay. That's okay. And we talked about the quarterbacking first. And listen, guys, let me reiterate on this with Tua. And we're going to talk more about Tua, the Dolphins, the victory, the winning streak with Alfredo Arteaga, who's going to join us in a couple of minutes. The guy didn't have his best game. That's going to happen in this league, right? You saw Tom Brady last night, right? I am not discouraged. I am not going to say, you know what? Yeah, a week ago, I thought Tua was a franchise quarterback. He threw a couple of interceptions against the Jets. Now I'm not so sure. No, I'm no longer the fence straddler, right? I'm no longer like that. I enjoyed it. Now, other things that I really enjoyed from that game yesterday. it wasn't, I guess, the most exciting game overall, but there was a lot of exciting pieces to it. The Christian Wilkins touchdown. My dude, every time that guy lines up on offense in the red zone, I'm like, please let this be the game. Let this be the down where Christian Wilkins gets his touchdown. And by God, he got it yesterday. Good hands, kind of bobbled it at first, secured the football. And then the thing was that I love most about that Christian Wilkins touchdown, the unadulterated joy. I think he realizes, I don't know how many of these I'm going to get in my career, right? A defensive lineman who occasionally moonlights as a fullback. I don't know how many of these touchdowns I'm going to score. So it's like he did all of his touchdown dances with one touchdown. He did the Miami Gardens leap. Tremendous ups for a 300-pounder. By the way, I didn't think he was going to make it. I didn't think he was going to clear that wall. I felt kind of bad for the people he landed on. I don't know if they were expecting that when they paid for their tickets. Here's a 300-pound dude that's going to fall in your lap. Unbelievable. He looked happy about it, though, to be honest. And then he does the worm in the end zone. And, then he's breakdancing. It's like the guy, it's like he knows, you know what? I don't know how often I'm going to score, so let me do 3 touchdown celebrations in one. That was unbelievable. I mentioned the defense, second half, 6 sacks. They took over. Tell Alf I say what's up. We're going to be bringing on Alf in a second, Big John stud. So I will tell him. Actually, I think he's watching right now in the waiting room. So I will tell him that you said what's up. But I think I'm telling him that right now. So, defense, obviously, second half was great, 6 sacks. But then the other thing, and I hadn't mentioned this, and I told people on Twitter I was going to talk about this. God, I feel so good for Duke Johnson. I feel kind of bad about the Dolphins coaching and management for taking 2 months to figure out this guy should be on the field. And he only was on the field because of COVID and injuries. But Duke Johnson finally gets an opportunity to start. He was massive. 107 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. The touchdowns were fantastic, especially the second one. I love how decisive Duke Johnson is when he's running the football. I was watching the game with Big John Stud yesterday. We were talking about this. He doesn't dance around in the backfield the way that Myles Gaskin sometimes does. I mean, how many times has Myles Gaskin probably cost himself an extra yard or two because he's so indecisive on taking off? Duke Johnson is just a natural, instinctive runner, a veteran. He's 28 years old, which is not that old, but for running back standards, that's like being 40, right? But, man, you could see the experience. You could see just the explosiveness from Duke Johnson. That was a tremendous game. So not only was that the best running performance from a Dolphins running back all season long, first guy to break the century mark. It's really not that hard to believe if you watch the Dolphins run the football week after week. But the first Dolphin to break the century mark this year, it was also a career high rushing for Duke. So I think it was Andy in Scotland. I don't know if I can find the message because you guys have been awesome. You're writing messages fast and furious, and I love it. But Andy from Scotland was asking, can Duke do this consistently? Well, I don't think he can, but I still think he's the best or second best running back on this team. And by the way, I'm debating between him and Phillip Lindsay, not him and Myles Gaskin. I would take Duke running the ball before Myles Gaskin. Phillip Lindsay, who missed the game yesterday because of COVID, I also rate him pretty highly. The only reason why I don't think Duke can't do that yesterday consistently, only because he's been in the league 7 years. He's never run for 100-plus yards before, so I'm not expecting him to do that every week now. But I still think he can be the Dolphins' best running back, and they've actually put him on the active roster now. So, Brian Flores, thankfully, and Chris Greer, they saw the same thing that we saw yesterday, and that's this man deserves more work. Duke Johnson deserves more work, and I'm sure Alfredo Arteaga from 3 yards per carry, who joins us, agrees with that. And Alf, I've got hat envy now because I've never seen. I thought I had the only 5 Reasons Sport hat design. What is that one? I got to get me one of those.
This is the original one. This is the one that Ethan cooked up for the very first year that 5 Reasons was on the air, and this is the very, very first one.
Dude,
I've been wearing it. I wore it for the first time on 5 Reasons to Bet at the start of this win streak. So now I'm just going to keep wearing it until the Super Bowl, I guess.
So let me start with Duke Johnson. And I love, by the way, the fans at Hard Rock Stadium. I'm sure many of the people there were the same people who went to his games in college at the U. I love to hear the Duke chants. Like, it felt like I took a time machine back to 2013 with the Miami Hurricanes. It was awesome. And so, Alf, Why do you think it took this long? And I understand why they gave him a chance. It was because of COVID and injuries. But, like, why did it take this long for the Dolphins brass to realize this guy needs to be on the field?
Well, why did it take 7 years in the NFL for somebody to finally give him the ball, right? Before Sunday, his high in carries was 16. Do you know how many times he had more than 9 carries? Nine in a game in 7 years. Do you have any
3
idea?
times?
7 times.
So, okay. I mean, my guess was a way low ball, but I had no clue. You did not prep me on that.
So he averaged more than 9 carries in a game once.
Wow.
For each year that he's been in the league. He was drafted 77th overall by the Cleveland Browns, okay? And the Cleveland Browns decided from pretty much day one, okay, he's a third down back now, okay? And he's been kind of typecast everywhere he's gone in the NFL as, okay, he's now our third down back, okay? And now we got a pass-catching back. Nobody's really given him a shot to run the football. The Dolphins yesterday gave him a shot and, had him play as RB1, and lo and behold, he looks like the Duke Johnson coming out of which is, it's not crazy to think that he could be that guy because he was that guy. There's a reason he went 77th overall, okay? Third round picks are usually guys that, get carries in the NFL. So, better late than never, right?
Yeah, better late than never. And listen, still, despite Duke only being heavily used in one of them, they still are on a 6-game winning streak. There are 3 very important games to go. And we know Duke is an active roster guy now, which is well-deserved. If they had sent him back to the practice squad, there would have been a one-man riot. That would have been me. I'm sure others would have joined me. So I'm glad he's an active guy. Do you expect him to continue to start? Because honestly, I feel better about Duke running the football than Myles Gaskin or Salvon Ahmed. So does he continue to get the lion's share?
Well, last year we kind of have they kind of tipped their hand. Last year, Salvon Ahmed had that 120-yard game against the Patriots, and almost immediately Myles Gaskin was back in the picture. I think it's different this time because they've had an opportunity to look at these guys for 2 years. And the only evidence that you've had this year is that they've looked high and low and every which way to replace Myles Gaskin. Mm-hmm. And I think they finally got their guy. And now that, and by the way, a lot of good news today. Jaylen Waddle and Philip Lindsay are clearing the COVID protocol today. So you're going to have them for Monday night against the Saints.
Awesome.
I think Philip Lindsay, this is a guy that got off a plane on a Thursday, did a walkthrough, never practiced with the team. What could he have known of that game plan or the playbook? And he actually played all right against Carolina. I think he's probably RB2, and I think Gaskin is going to get some pass catching duties to keep Duke fresh. Because if he's going to be running the ball and Philip Lindsay's going to supplement him, then you don't want him getting 30 touches. You want to save him for the touches that matter.
We are joined here by Alfredo Arteaga from 3 Yards Per Carry, which is the best Dolphins podcast on the planet, and it's part of our family on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. I want you to expand on this tweet that you wrote because, it's definitely – you see a lot of sentiment like this. We have reached the point in the proceedings where if Tua goes 15-6 overall to finish year 2, he stays. But if he goes 14-7, he is a goner. The haters are relentlessly stupid. And listen, Alf, I was very provocative with the title of this episode when I said Tua had a clunker. He had some poor throws in that game, including a couple of bad interceptions, a pick 6. But my point is, I think my point is your point that, listen, every quarterback is going to have some subpar games, right? And it's Tua was not at his best yesterday. Still made some big plays. The team still won. That is the most important thing. And I'm not going to judge the guy so harshly based off one poor game or one great game. But you're seeing a lot of that judgment today, right?
Absolutely. I woke up this morning reading tweets about, okay, well, now he's 7-7. So now the pressure's really on now. There wasn't pressure at 1-7 or 2-7 or 3-7. But now that they're 7-7, I woke up this morning to a bunch of tweets telling me, well, now he has to make the playoffs, which means he has to win out. And if he wins out, he will have in a 21-game sample, he would have gone 15-6. So it begs the question. So if he doesn't, is he a goner? And a lot of these guys were coming back at me and saying, "Oh yeah," and I would say, "So you're really going to cut or trade a rookie, essentially, a 1 year, a second-year starter that went 14-7 for you? Like that doesn't make too much sense to me." So I don't think there's any credibility left. I think we're just watching. We're watching Tua to see, what he has going forward and what we've like. And on today's podcast, which already released, Chris Kaufman said, this is a really good sign if this is the bottom of the barrel for Tua, because I think that was a poor game of his. Okay?
It was, yeah, it absolutely was, and
but you got to watch it in context, right? Like he was bad, but the team won and they scored 31 points.
Right, and also let's not forget, because I hadn't mentioned it yet on the show, Jaylen Waddle didn't play yesterday. We've seen how important Jaylen has become for that entire offense, right? How much was he missed yesterday? Because I'm sure you can quantify it better than most of us can.
Yeah, I think he was missed greatly because they tried to replace him with Isaiah Ford, and they try to have Gesicki do some of the things that Waddle does. And Parker's just not adept at being a slot guy, okay? And again, right back to Tua, I thought he was not good yesterday, okay? He had certain opportunities in the game that he just didn't take advantage of. But, when he threw that pick six, he could have crumbled.
Yeah.
But after that, he only did throw it twice after that. But both of them were completions, and one of them was the touchdown, the game-winning touchdown. So for time immemorial, we're going to remember that he did throw the game-winning touchdown to Devontae Parker. But he had some missed opportunities. The deep pass to Albert Wilson, he was completely confused. And if you watch the all-22 from behind him, you see he double clutches it because he thinks that the safety is leaving Parker when he's not leaving Parker. So he's like, whoa, I'm trapped. If I throw it deep, I'm basically throwing a punt out there because the safety is going to intercept it. Lo and behold, the safety did not leave Parker, and Wilson was wide open. And he just missed it. Because once you double clutch it, you don't have rhythm anymore, and now you can't get it out there.
And by the way, I agree with Barney O here. He also had some dimes, many converted third downs when we need it. Dude has ice in his veins. Yeah, I think as far as throwing the football, two of my favorites. He had a deep ball to the sideline to Devontae Parker, which was a threading the needle, great throw and catch. And he also did have a big completion, I think like 30 yards down the field to Isaiah Ford, who made a great grab on a great throw. So it wasn't all bad. And then Alf, one of my favorite plays from the game, period, was that 9-yard run that Tua had where he lowered the shoulder and he ran over Michael Carter. I mean, obviously, I don't want him doing that every single game, but I really enjoyed it. And Tua looked so pumped afterwards. Like I loved seeing his reaction to that.
Yeah, I like that one specifically for the Mike Florios of the world who keep harping on, oh, he looks small out there. He looks frail. Yes, trust me, a 6 foot, 225-pound guy can run you over, especially when you outweigh the DB by 30 pounds, right? And, you don't want to see him do it because too many bad things can happen. If you watched over the weekend, Teddy Bridgewater tried something similar, and he ended up in the hospital for it. So, you want him to slide, unless you're going for a touchdown or, an all-important, conversion on fourth down, and you just absolutely have to go head first. Other than that, I want you sliding for now and on.
By the way, Zachary B reminded me the O-line's been playing much better.
Absolutely.
Only one sack given up yesterday. The running game got going, of course, because not only did Duke have a big day, Myles Gaskin had a big run. Like he had one big play on that game-winning drive, the 30-yard run. So how did you rate the O-line play? And I know you were very much on top of this because I saw you tweeted out some grades for these guys today. It's just, I'm not going to say they're a great O-line now, but they used to be terrible, and now they're serviceable.
When I rewatched the game, I didn't want to really get into what Tua did or did not do because I saw it yesterday, and I kind of have a pretty good idea of what Tua did wrong and what he did right. So I really wanted to see, how this offensive line and this run game got on track for the first time all season. And it got on track for two very specific reasons. Number one, I'm going to give most of the credit to Duke Johnson. He was making every right decision, every right cut, He was running with power, with speed. And then I'm going to give, let's make it 65% Duke Johnson and 35% that offensive line. I thought they were great across the board, except Jesse Davis. Jesse Davis, I'll give him, he was average.
So a passing grade at least.
Yes. But even then, he was playing against John Franklin Myers, who's a really good player. And did you hear John Franklin Myers' name all that much?
No.
I believe he had a couple of pressures. But other than that, yeah, that offensive line was really good, especially those guards. Austin Jackson, dare I say Austin Jackson was their best offensive lineman yesterday. So, yeah, it was great across the board, and they're on their own little winning streak.
Yeah.
Like, I believe it's about 2.5 games in a row now of very, very good play from that offensive line.
By the way, I haven't forgotten, for those watching, the elephant in the chat room, because everybody will remind me of how I mushed Will Fuller early in the season, right when he was coming off suspension before week 2. I don't know if you remember this, Alf, but I devoted an episode to Will Fuller, and I referred to him as the secret weapon. And God, there's got to be more to this than an injured finger. Like, we're talking about having setbacks with it. Like, I can understand a setback, like with a leg injury, like something you have to walk and run on. It seems to me like it'd be pretty easy to protect a finger from having a setback. And as Welch and a few others have written in things like this, Mushman, that's me. Will Fuller is trying to contact you about your car's extended warranty. So Brian Flores said today he's going to be out for the rest of the year. This guy signed a 1-year, $10 million deal in a ski mask, Alf. Do you have any theories? Because I know one of the predominant theories, like I know our guy Louis D. Sung believes this. I think Hussam Patel does as well. I indulge in conspiracies every chance I get that, he came here expecting to play with Deshaun Watson, and, that never materialized. And maybe there's some things going on, behind the scenes for him. But is it really just a finger, or do you think there's more to this story?
Well, I'm told that the injury was pretty severe. And
really?
Yeah. So it was something that was going to keep him on an extended period of time. But I was also told they expected him back.
Yeah.
So this setback might have been, hey, you practicing this week? And he probably looked at Brian Flores cross-eyed, and Brian Flores said, I guess you're out for the year, buddy. So it could have been something like that.
Yeah.
Or, because I've been hearing for 3 weeks, oh, yeah, he's coming. He's coming. Yeah, he's going to play.
Same here. That's why I'm very surprised. Like, I thought it was like any week now he would return.
Yes. Yeah. And then I kept hearing, okay, it kind of makes sense, right after the bye, right, to give him as much time as possible. Well, the bye came and went. The Jets game got played after the bye, and there was no Will Fuller. And now it's after the Jet game, and we're going on the road for a couple of weeks. Still no Will Fuller, and now we kind of have our answer. He's out for the year, which is really weird. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Everybody's talking about, yes, he did. He signed that contract with a ski mask. But why? Okay, like the real heist was a year from now.
Yeah.
Okay, last year he had an elite season. Okay.
Right.
That's why he got a prove-it deal, because he's always been injury-prone.
Yeah.
So he had an elite season last year, and the Dolphins, I thought, really, really smart. 1-year deal, proved that you're an elite wide receiver. They didn't put all their eggs in that basket because they drafted Jaylen Waddle, and they still had Devontae Parker, and you could kind of like, okay, maybe Preston Williams can help. So they had some depth at wide receiver. So they hedged their bets pretty well with Will Fuller.
Yeah.
The guy absolutely was a no-show this season. The right thing, usually the way it works is that he would have balled out this season and then put on the ski mask, gotten $50 million, and then become a no-show.
That's what I was expecting.
You know what I mean? But no, it was I guess 10 million's enough. You know what I mean?
You know what? Maybe he got that 10 million during a dip. He bought a bunch of crypto, and then when when Bitcoin surged up to 68K, 69K last month, he said, "I'm good."
Come to think of it, in September, Bitcoin was at around 10.5, 10.9. Who knows if he took an advance on the whole 10 million and put it on Bitcoin? And now he's sitting on like 60 million from his $10 million investment. And he's like, you know what? I'm not playing football again. The hell with this thing.
So big picture, I did. If you guys are on Twitter, you can see where to follow me at Alex Donno. I put out a Twitter poll, which is very. I don't like to think a lot when I come up with these polls. Very very simple question. Dolphins have 3 games left. If they win all 3, really good chance to make the playoffs. Not guaranteed, really good chance. If they lose even one of the next 3, you've got to be very very lucky getting help around the league. So I tweeted this a poll: will the Dolphins win out? And 57% of the respondents say no. They've got the Saints on Monday night on the road, the Titans on the road, New England at home, week 18. Those are your next 3 games. 57% say no, they will not win out. 43% say yes, they will. What do you say, Mr. Arteaga?
I think that the tough one is in Tennessee. I think that's going to be a rough game. They win that one, they're winning out. I really believe so. And everybody keeps, because I heard today, and people were making a mess out of this on the radio. Can they get in if they win out? The answer is yes. Most likely than not, they win out, they will be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You want a guarantee? Okay, then you're watching the Bills-Patriots game this Sunday, because that one is extremely important for their odds. If the Bills win and the Dolphins win out, they are into the playoffs 98% of the scenarios. So that's 98% is pretty good. Okay?
Those are good odds. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Now, if the Patriots win, you drop down to 58%.
Ugh.
And then you're watching Cincinnati and you're watching the Colts. You kind of want them to win the division, their divisions. Because if they do, you got tiebreakers over pretty much everybody else, because especially you get to play almost everybody else. So the good thing is, they all play each other starting now at 5:00. Raiders, Browns, like that. That's a game that you just watch and say you don't care about the result. A tie is actually the best result, But other than that, either team wins. Doesn't matter. It helps. It helps Miami. A tie is like optimal. Like if you tie. Yeah. Like you're getting the best of both worlds.
And if you have enough balls to bet a tie on the money line, you'd win a lot of money, I'm sure, if it ends up being a tie, because I don't think I've ever bet that before for an NFL game, but the option is there on props at BetUScom. So try it out. Bet tie. It's probably like plus 1,500 or something.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine. The first Canelo Triple G fight. He, I was betting Triple G, and he was telling me, "You're insane." And I'm like, "Why am I insane? You like Canelo?" And he was telling me, "No, you're insane thinking that there's going to be a result in this first fight. If this fight's anywhere close, it's going to be a draw." And I'm like, "Really?" And he goes, "Yes," and I'm betting it. And he bet it at plus 2,500 and hit that and hit the draw. Dude. And when the fight ended, he was looking at me like, "It feels like a draw, doesn't it?" I'm like, "This is going to be a draw."
Oh my God, that is fantastic. I've never had. I mean, every now and then I hit draws in soccer, but those are very common, so that doesn't really I don't brag about it. Yeah, I hit a draw, but to hit a draw in a boxing,
I like that
fight,
bet. I do that bet, not with a lot of money, because you got to be crazy to actually bank on a draw. But I do that bet every once in a while, especially in boxing when it's the 2 guys that are evenly matched, and you can kind of see how they want to milk it for like a rematch. Or maybe even a trilogy. Sometimes I do that.
Dude, fantastic. Well, and you mentioned 3 yards per carry has already dropped, the first episode of the week. Where do people find it?
Okay, you can get our podcast anywhere you get your podcast. It's the number 3 yards per carry. We're on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast. You can follow us at the number 3 yards per carry on Twitter.
I love it. Alfredo Arteaga, thank you so much, my friend. We'll talk at some point next week. Just let me know throughout the week if Monday is good. I don't think there's a holiday that falls directly on Monday. I can't keep track of all these holidays.
Well Monday the Dolphins are playing, so you can have me for a preview. You could have me for a preview.
Let's do it.
We could do that, or we could do Tuesday and talk about what happened. So just let me know.
Well, maybe I'd like to, because I'm so used to recapping games with you. I might want to do the Tuesday thing. It's not that I wouldn't like your preview insight, but I think I prefer your recap insight.
Cool.
So let's do that. Good stuff, Alf. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for having me.
I love it. Awesome stuff there. And hey, I want to remind you guys to be supporting our sponsors. You're looking for a great place to watch the NFL games, the college football bowl games, Heat games. We watched a Heat game out there last Wednesday night, the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill. The food is so good, man. The oysters and Maine lobster. I love to build my own poke bowl. The sushi is awesome. Those of you who are not seafood eaters, you're like, stop talking about seafood. They got amazing sandwiches, burgers, salads, pasta dishes. The baby back ribs are incredible. 2-for-1 happy hour all day, every day. Check them out, quarterdeckrestaurants.com. And guys, make sure you are signing up. We've been killing it, man. I've been preaching the BetUS.com gospel since we started up this show back in July. We have converted so many people to BetUS.com. You will find out why. This is America's favorite sports book. Their customer service is on point. If you need anything, including if you just want to understand, like, what the hell is live betting? What is a parlay? If you're new to the gambling space, a lot of that lingo can be intimidating. Like if you're wondering why is it like minus 110 to bet something? They have a dedicated chat line and a 1-800 number, and they actually have a customer service rep assigned to you. Their extension is right there. They will help you out with anything that they need. BetUS is very easy to use. And if you sign up with our show code, they give you a 125% sign-up bonus. And yeah, that's legit. You deposit $1,000 with our code 5RSN125. They're going to give you $1,250 in free play money on top of your deposit. You deposit $100, they'll give you $125 in free play money on top of that. You bet, you win, you get paid, and it is available in Florida, by the way. BetUS.com. When I was chatting with our producer Manny Chang this morning, and we were talking about who we should bring on today. Like Manny asked me, do you want to bring on somebody to talk maybe some Heat? And I said, I don't know, maybe Canes, because I was so depressed by the Heat game last night. But then when Manny told me we could get Ricky J. Mark, I'm like, yeah, let's talk some Heat. I love this dude. And Ricky is back. And wow, I'm so used to seeing you with the Paris backdrop. That looks like some lovely foliage there behind you out the window. It looks like you were doing well, sir. Ricky J. Mark, how are you?
Hi. It's funny you mentioned Poke Bowl because I was actually throwing some Poke Balls a few moments ago. So, I was that's why I was killing time backstage because, security actually let me in today. I'm happy about that.
I instructed them. You are a VIP today. Do not muscle him up outside the door. Let him in.
Yeah. As if I don't have enough. As if I didn't get pulled over by the cops last week as it was. But that's a whole nother conversation. And we're trying to be happy today, right?
Oh man. So does that really we don't have to get into it if you don't want to, but that really happened?
No, that's fine. Yeah, it really did. The cop claimed that I had a broken tag light, even though no. Hey, that's par for the course when you're driving a 2009 Camry in Parkland, right? At 8:00 at night.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm. They called for backup and everything. I love being me.
Dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's life. It's life. It is what it is. But hey, the holidays are happy. We got Christmas coming up and Kwanzaa coming right after. And, hey, here we are. What's going on, Donno?
Well, what's going on is now the Heat were the slump buster last night for the Detroit Pistons on a 14-game losing skid coming in, and then the Heat cured that. But the thing is, we still have everybody out, basically. It's obviously frustrating to lose, especially when this version of the Miami Heat have already won a couple of games that they probably weren't supposed to win. Then they lose to the Pistons. But I don't know if there's been any update, Ricky, today on PJ Tucker. But honestly, I would worry more about his status than I would about losing that game. Like if he's out for an extended period of time, as our guy Brady Hawk has been all over this. If PJ Tucker is out along with Bam for an extended period of time, this is going to be trouble. So to me, his status is more important than what happened on the court last night.
Oh, absolutely. I'm one of the, whether it's few or whether it's a lot of people that happen to follow the Heat that believe that it's an 82-game season and there are peaks and valleys. And look, Miami was a slump buster. This isn't the first time Miami was a slump buster. Remember, they lost to Boston, who were skidding at the time, and it happened, and then the team regrouped and they got their stuff together. But right now, PJ Tucker's been the kind of player where he's been putting up almost like Jimmy-esque numbers, like 20-something points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and doing it at all off of push shot floaters that look like they came from the 1950s. So look, hey, It is a concern. I don't have any updates as far as that's concerned. I don't believe our insiders have tweeted anything just yet with regards to PJ Tucker. But as you know as well as I do, the Heat are notoriously tight-lipped when it comes to injury diagnoses or prognoses or whatever Z's that you want to think of. Just going back to the Bam situation, we don't really know how long he's going to be out for. The same way we didn't know anything about Victor Oladipo's knee/quad injury late last season. It's just the way it is. I think Eric Spoelstra will tell you, we have enough. And then go out there and win or maybe lose because, seasons are determined by wins and losses. That's what teams do. But I think it's important for Heat fans to understand that this is a long-term thing. Not the injury, hopefully, but the season.
Yes.
I think we should all be thankful that from what I've seen so far, we don't have anybody in protocols for the moment.
Right.
And considering where they play their home games in Miami, considering where the teams that they've played, I mean, that game against, I don't know if it was the Sixers or a previous team. I forget which team it was. Or I think it was the Bulls. That game should have never happened. The game should have never happened. And yet they went in, won. Thankfully, nobody got sick after that. So, that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this time that they spend without so many key players, it's about treading water. And actually, like some of those wins, prior to last night's defeat, beating Philadelphia on the road, the win over Milwaukee and Chicago, to do it with the motley crew that they had. Those are some of my favorite games of the season. And it's why I have so much respect for Eric Spoelstra that he can get that out of a group that's essentially a G League roster some of these nights. Now, one thing that's been frustrating everyone, myself included, throughout the year is the $90 million man. He goes 2 for 10 from 3 last night, 2 for 11 from the floor. We've seen a couple of good games here and there from Duncan Robinson, but overall it's been poor. I mean, Ricky, how important is it to get him going? Because I know that sometimes when gas bags like me talk about how much a player is making, people will say, well, that's unfair to bring up the salary. It doesn't make a difference. It does make a difference in a salary cap sport. Like when a guy is eating that much salary to go 2 for 10 from 3 when it's his job to make threes, it is a problem. Now, I'm not saying he can't figure it out, because I've been watching Duncan Robinson long enough to know this guy can be streaky. And if he strings together like 2 really good games from 3, it's going to turn into like 10 or 11 straight really good games from 3. But how important is it to get him going, Ricky?
I think it's hold on a second. What was that? Sean Rochester's outside my house. How does he know where I live? Oh, it's because I'm about to talk about Dunk. All right, we move. I'll deal with the consequences later, I guess. Look, here's the thing. Duncan Robinson. Hold on. He's outside of Donno's too?
Oh, no.
How is that even possible? How can he be in 2 places? Not now. I'm doing an interview. All right. So, look, here's the thing. Duncan Robinson is a one-dimensional player. He doesn't really do much of anything else.
No.
That's who he was there. I don't think it was an accident or a shock that he was. I think it was a 3rd division college player before he ended up at Michigan for that one season or something to that effect. I mean, usually guys that are multifaceted generally are not that low in the NCAA ladder. He was a diamond in the rough. He had a couple really good games in summer league. The Heat signed him. No one really cared about him. And now he got the deal, and he's being game planned for in a certain way. Maybe it's going to his head. Maybe it's not. All I know is that to be a professional in this league, those can't be excuses. Trade rumors can't be an excuse to underperform like he was doing for a little while leading up to the trade deadline that ultimately saw him not move. I'm at the point now where, look, I believe that he can eventually come back because players have struggled early on and then come through late. But, I don't know. I mean, I mentioned this some time ago. It's important to understand that players like him, we cannot afford to fall in love with players like Duncan Robinson because guys like him can get moved. Pat Riley, when taking a look at this roster, this is not the kind of roster where it's like if one guy is out, you're still going to be solid, because as we've been complaining about for quite some time, if Bam is out, oh my God, chaos. If Kyle is out, chaos, and so on and so forth. So if he's going to take this roster and improve it, he might have to move Duncan, because Duncan makes a certain amount of money and he might have to attach a certain player or contract to make that work. That's the reality of the game. Pat Riley will move a guy if he's underperforming. Now, the Heat training staff know much more than you or I could ever possibly with regards to him and his process and everything. But if they continue to believe in him, then so be it. Maybe it's because they really believe in him, or because no one wants to take a guy that Heat Twitter has been bashing left and right. Because remember, opposing teams watch players too, right?
Yeah, that's right.
There's this hope that Riley will fleece somebody. And it's like, oh yeah, they didn't watch all those games where Duncan was like 2 for 11 and whatever. They're buying it on hope. But it is what it is. Duncan Robinson needs to get his act together, because when he is shooting well, it makes everybody else's job easier. I think that's pretty clear with everything. So I think we'll see, but I'm optimistic. I'm happy that he's had a couple good games. I want to see more. I want to see about a month of solid Duncan play. I'm not expecting him to shoot 70% on 18 attempts a night from 3 every night for a month. Give me 40% for a month, or give or take between 38 and 43% for a month. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, Duncan's back. All right, let's go.
That's very well said, and I would take that. A lot of Heat fans, including a few people in the chat, had basically said that we already have a cheaper version of Duncan on the team right now, and that's Max Strus. Not exactly the same player, but pretty similar in certain aspects. And obviously, Strus is a lot cheaper as a former two-way guy. How have you assessed for now? You're right. That's the key phrase, for now. But how have you assessed his development so far? Because from summer league on, he's been a tremendous story.
I've been a huge Max Strus fan ever since I first saw him in Summer League. I love the guy. I love what he brings to the table. He is sneaky athletic, which we both know is code for. He is a bit girthier, which I love saying in the post-game shows because it's late and people are already loose, like Strus. And look, he gives you a lot of what Duncan was giving you in the first 2 or year and a half that he was with the team, plus the idea that he won't completely allow his defender to jump over him and get a rebound. He gives you a little bit more than Duncan gives you. I think he might be a little streakier for the time being, but as we've seen with shooters on this Heat team, shooters come here and have their career years and end up getting huge deal. Bruce Bowen owes his career to the opportunities he got in Miami, even though Pat Riley may have made him mad with regards to his value, which ultimately resulted in him ending up in San Antonio. But the hell, look, that's past. That's old news, right? This team has churned out 3-point contest winners. There's no reason to believe that Max Strus, at least in my opinion, can't develop into a microwave type of player coming off the bench. A kind of player that on occasion can start for you at the 2, but I think he's found he's in the process of finding for himself a pretty nice niche in this league. And I hope he stays with Miami long term, stays healthy, doesn't have any injury issues. And if that is the case, then that makes a certain someone. Oh, he's not. Okay, he's gone. Okay. That makes a certain someone movable. And if he's movable, presumably that makes the Heat team better and allows them to have a little bit more depth in addition to whatever it is that they find in the bargain bin.
Ricky, let people know where they can see you and hear you next on the network, because I'm sure you got something going on this week.
Yeah. So pregame and occasionally on postgame, of course, before floor with Ethan, myself, Jonathan Romlicon, Greg Sylvander, the boy wonder himself, Brady Hawk.
That's a great group right there. That's that is a great starting 5 right there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I love throwing alleys, man. I love it. Yeah. Like I like it when I'm surrounded by people that know the game. It means I don't really have to, not do much, but it means that, okay, all right, we can exchange ideas, and it's a beautiful thing. The post up with Royal A. Shepherd, Romlicon's there too. Gad occasionally stops by. Ariel Atias, Brian Young, who still owes me money for that KZ bet he made during the summer.
What was that bet again?
If KZ scores more than 19 points, he owes everybody that likes this $10 or something like that. I have the screenshot. It's there. It's all there. Yeah. Hold him accountable, Heat Twitter.
I will. I'm going to get on him for that.
Yeah, it's a good group of guys. I mean, I'm going to try to be on as many of the pregame and postgame shows as possible. There's that. I'm helping out with a little bit of social media now. So whenever there are shows, we're
Yes,
going to be
but by the
working on
way, I
clips.
need to either get some stuff to you, or I need to make sure I prefer to delegate. So I either need to make sure
Mhm.
Manny gets stuff to you, or I'll do it myself if I have to.
No
But I'm
problem.
gonna put it on Manny.
Yeah, no problem at all. Because look, at the end of the day, we are as a network trying to grow, and I think the fact that we have so many talented personalities, analysts, and writers, and just, I mean, you name it. You know, we haven't seen Chris Joseph in a while, but the man can write like crazy. Shout out to Chris Joseph, formerly of the Balls Cast. I missed that show, by the way.
Me too.
But yeah, ultimately, when you look at this network and the trajectory that we're set for, we're, small as we may be, I think we just recently eclipsed, I think it was the Miami Herald's sports account in terms of followers, right? So for a group of guys who are basically fanalists who have come in from all different walks of life to talk about sports. I mean, you just had 3 yards per carry, Alfredo Arteaga with 3 yards per carry on. I mean, they have formed a movement all on their own. It's incredible. I mean, so ultimately at this point, we're just going to try to market ourselves a little bit better. We're going to try to show people on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, maybe the best of what we're capable of, so that way more people can come to the network, more sponsors. Hey, sponsors, how you guys doing? I know we got BetUS right here. Hey, come on down, let's do some business, because look at the exposure we're getting. I'm probably going to gain 3 followers just off this Donno Daily
That's the
spot. You
power.
never know. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe it's the sky blue colors behind them that creates all that allure. I'm a little biased. I'm a City fan, but hey, it is what it is. But
There you
yeah,
go.
long story short, Donno, I mean, look, at this point, the network's growing rapidly. We are ascending. We are becoming the home for 5 reasons. 5 reasons. We are becoming the home for Miami sports, fan contributed, fan involved. And, the future's bright for us, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm happy to be able to amplify some of the great voices in this network.
Well, and also, I'd love to give you the chance to amplify your website as well, because you provide a lot of good stuff at rickyjmark.com.
Oh, for
And
sure.
what can people access there?
So the moment you go to the site, you'll see an opportunity, whether you're here in the United States or overseas in France. You will be able to register for a COVID shot. Because it is important. 99% of deaths from COVID-19, not to be dark or anything, are quite literally from among the unvaccinated.
I'm getting my
We
booster
have seen
on Wednesday, Ricky. I'm getting the old booster.
Good. And the beautiful thing about the booster, be it Pfizer or Moderna, we've seen studies that show that it's pretty solid when it comes to the 2 variants that are out there, both Delta and Omicron. At this point, yeah, just get your jabs, be safe, because here's the thing. A lot of you went to school, went to a public school. There's no way you would have graduated high school without having gotten your immunizations. And a lot of those immunizations have been researched for as long as the coronavirus has been researched, which is dating back to the 1930s. This is not a brand new virus. Remember the bird flu from a couple years ago? That is a variant of the coronavirus.
Oh,
So
did not
this
know
isn't,
that.
yeah, this isn't like new. So you do that, get your COVID shot. You can get it done at CVS. It's practically walk-in at this point. There are more than enough jabs available for you to get it done, which unfortunately the same can't be said for many countries in the global South, but that's a whole nother conversation and a whole nother show. Not only that, if you are interested in counseling, you go on there, you go to Ricky's Resources, you get all kinds of information, not just what you believe in politically or anything like that, but if you need help, because mental health is important, therapy is important. We've all been through a very traumatic 2 years, and it's okay to not be okay. There's a way to get around it. I suffered mental injury myself as a result of this, and I am no longer broken, so to speak. I'm recovering. I'm healed. I feel great. I feel amazing. Not only that, just general wellness. I mean, because ultimately, rickyjmark.com is not just about me and learning about who I am and my socials and where I've been, where I'm going, what my resume looks like, all that. It's about what you can do for yourself. I'm hoping that this site can be a public service to you, because the truth is, I know some people get clicks based off affiliate links and stuff like that. There are no affiliate links. You just go, you click on it, you benefit yourself. This isn't about me. It's just, that's essentially the general theme of my life. I'm here to serve, and I'm happy to do it.
And we appreciate it, man. And by the way, you got at least 1 new Twitter follow as a result of this interview.
Hey,
Brooklyn.
I was born in Brooklyn, man. I see that's solidarity right there. You see that? There you go. I appreciate that, Rob.
I love it. Ricky, thank you so much, man. Enjoy the rest of your week and have a very happy holiday season.
I intend to. City for life. take that.
Well, and it works that the colors, because I've got the blue and black here because of Inter, and it is a pretty light blue, so it works out. So we do like the cross promo. We both appreciate these soccer colors.
Shout out to Charlotte FC too. Them colors look nice.
Yeah, I know a guy. I know a guy who works for them. My friend Sean McIntosh works for them. So I'm hoping like he can get me some tickets or something if I'm ever in the area.
It works for them, huh? We'll talk, Donno.
We will. Okay, I like it. All right, Ricky.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of your day,
Thanks,
my
man.
friend. So I want to bring on Manny Chang real quick. Manny, I know you're a big Star Wars fan. So you tell me, bro, if this is good parenting or terrible parenting. So this morning, this was a very exciting event for me because they just recently opened up a Walmart about a half hour from my house, right? And I've never lived right by a Walmart before. So it's like, I'm usually a Target guy, but I'm like, let me go check out the new Walmart. So I went in there today to do some last minute Christmas shopping. I asked my wife, hey, is there anything we need? Like, is there anything maybe we want to get? My son, Luca, we spoil the kid to death. He's already got a bunch of like different presents that we bought him and my parents and whatever. But I asked her like, oh, is there anything we might want to get for Luca? And she told me, oh, he's in this phase where he loves reading or being read to. He's, it's not 4 yet. He cannot read for himself, but he loves being read to. He loves books. She's like, oh, you should get him some of these like interactive children's books and stuff. So I'm in Walmart.
Hi, Rob. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, Brooklyn Rob. Mush in the doghouse. But yes, I am. I'll get to that. So, okay, first of all, so I'm wandering around, and if anyone's ever been in a Walmart before, we all have. It's a gigantic, very cavernous place, okay? So I'm in the Walmart today for a total of like 45 minutes, which for me is a really long stop. Okay, if I'm at any store for more than like 5 minutes, that's a long stop. Okay, and I'm wandering all around this Walmart. I'm getting some stuff for my parents. I'm getting some stuff for my niece and nephew. I even got something for me. Look at this Cobra Kai T-shirt. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
Okay.
Less than $8 for this shirt. I'm so proud of this shirt. And so I'm wandering through the Walmart, and I don't like to ask people for help, okay? When I'm in a store, I like to find my own way, okay? I don't like to ask the people working there, only in Home Depot do I do that, because Home Depot, I could be in there for 3 days, okay? Hey, man, he shows up now. So eventually, I'm wandering on the Walmart, and I never find children's books. I don't. But I'll tell you what I did find. Lightsabers. Star Wars.
Toys?
Yeah, like the toys, the lightsaber toys.
Oh, sweet.
So
you probably just saved yourself $100 when you actually go to Hollywood Studios with him and him wanting to get a lightsaber.
That's not a bad call. That's a very good call. That's true, because we could just bring the lightsaber with us. So, long story short, I do not buy him a book because I can't even find. The only books I could find were like adult books, not like adult, but like grown up books. Okay, I couldn't find any kids' books anywhere. And I didn't ask for help, but I do find lightsabers. So I pick up here's the only mistake I made, though, because I picked up a lightsaber for my nephew, who's about around my kid's age, so he'll love it. And I pick up one for my kid. I got my nephew a Yoda lightsaber. My kid, I got him the Obi-Wan Kenobi. And so I just got him lightsabers instead of books. Do you think my wife is happy about that? No. She wanted me to get him books. I get him something he's just going to use to like hit things and knock things over. I'm in the doghouse, okay? But I think it was a great parenting decision. Because what kid wouldn't want a lightsaber, first of all? And second of all, I want to start easing my kid into the magical world of Star Wars, because even he may not be ready to like sit through Return of the Jedi right now, but I can kind of get him into the cartoons and the toys and stuff. He likes Baby Yoda. He's not watched The Mandalorian, but so I figure, first of all, every kid wants a lightsaber. Second of all, this is a great gateway drug for my kid to start getting into Star Wars, because I'm a Star Wars fanatic. I want him to be a Star Wars fanatic as well. Brooklyn Rob said,
he's on fire.
You went nowhere near the book. Well, I never found the book section. Like, I don't know where it was. I saw the groceries. I saw the electronics. I saw the clothing. I saw like the outdoor stuff, like patio furniture and barbecue grill, the toys, but I never found a kid's book section. It just wasn't there. So I got the kid a lightsaber. I thought it was a great parenting move.
Alex, it was a wonderful parenting move. I'm sorry, it's Christmas. Like, getting a kid a lightsaber or something of that sort, I think it actually should get him so damn excited that his next question will be, Dad, when can we get more?
Right.
And then that's the whole idea. Reading and books, listen, that's going to happen eventually, but it's Christmas, man. I mean, in all honesty, I was always a kid growing up. I wanted to see pictures. I'm a visual guy.
Yeah.
Like a paragraph to me doesn't really tell me anything. Like if there's a picture on top of a paragraph, then I get very interested.
Still to this day, I read books with pictures. Just so
There you
people know.
By the way, see if your son gets into, because he said he watches cartoons. I thought the Bad Batch first season was amazing. It's great. It's fully cartoon 3D.
Nice.
Well, not 3D, but it has that nice quality, the whole thing. So I think that's a perfect show for him to watch on Disney Plus.
Okay.
I hope your wife is not listening to me, because I'm probably not invited to anything ever.
No, she's not. Don't worry about her. So just pretend, and she's not going to watch this either. So, sometimes she'll watch like maybe the first 15 minutes of an episode. She'll never get to the last few minutes. Don't worry.
Look at Rob's on fire, man. By the way,
you think there's any antiques in my house? There's nothing more than like 10 years old in my house.
Alex, so speaking about places having a book section, you know that Publix has had a magazine section forever, and I really didn't even notice.
Really?
Nope.
There's nobody there. Is that near when you?
There's never nobody looking at the magazine.
That's probably near where you buy the lottery tickets, right? I never go over there.
Probably, but there's never nobody there. So when you're at Walmart, why are you there normally, right? By the way, Walmart in Orlando has the best selection of Star Wars T-shirts for under $15. Yes, that is the way to go. Don't go to Disney and spend $30. Even though I'm a pass holder, I get 20% off.
Yeah, still not.
Walmart has a very good selection of Star Wars shirts and stuff like that you can get at half the price. If you're ever interested. Damn, I probably just ruined your wife.
We should really get a Walmart sponsorship. Like Ricky was talking about getting more sponsorships for the channel. Like we totally should get Walmart in here. Like we'll slide. You know, we got the BetUS logo on one side. We should slide the Walmart logo like right around there. We got to get them to pay us though.
By the way, Luca might eventually get into the droids first, because that's what really drew me. I know R2D2 was one of the first things that really was.
Yeah, he knows R2. Like he knows it a little bit.
Wait until he watches BB-8, right? And then okay, now not only can R2 move, but now BB-8 can roll and do all types of things, and that's what really drew me into it. And then you take him to Hollywood Studios, and then he finds out, I could build a droid. Those are things like that. So I don't think you did bad parenting at all. It's Christmas time. You got the kid his first ever official Star Wars toy, right? And that's the whole idea. We want them to be entertained by things that we grew up on. I didn't really grow up on books. I'm sorry. I mean, obviously I read books for school, but when it was free time, you think I want to be staring at a book?
No.
Nah.
Yeah, man. I think I've talked about it on this show before, but like by the time I hit high school, and that was like, heavy reading, because I was really smart when it came to English. Like I did AP English, I think 2 AP classes in English in both 11th grade, 12th grade, passed my AP exams, so I wasn't bullshitting it. But whenever they would assign reading in my English classes, I went right to Spark Notes. Like in 4 years of high school, I maybe actually read 3 books out of like, I don't know, probably 20 books that were assigned. I probably read 3 out of like 20, maybe more than 20 were assigned, but I probably only actually read 3 books in high school. Spark Note, motherfucker, just right onto those Spark Notes. And listen, man, I would retain enough from the Spark Notes to be fine. Passed my AP exams, got A's, A-minuses in the English classes. So yeah, I have spent so much effort avoiding reading that the actual reading probably would have been less effort than what I spent avoiding. It's just my personality. All right, huge. Manny, it's nice to see your face, sir. You're in Chicago, right?
Yes, sir. I got here about an hour ago, an hour and a half. So
nice. Well, say what's up to Alana if you see her out there.
I will. 31 degrees. I will be heading to Soldier Field for Monday Night Football in a couple of hours.
Nice.
I might regret that decision. I might not. If you don't hear from me in the AM with the links, I probably didn't make it. Just giving a heads up. So I've been getting messages all day on why I'm here on Twitter. Florida Panthers were supposed to play the Blackhawks tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's right.
That's not happening, so I wasn't going to waste a trip. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Talk to you soon.
Well, thank you so much, Manny, and huge shout out to Ricky J. Mark, who joined us today, and Alfredo Arteaga, who joined us. And I want to send shout outs to as many people as I can on the chat today. And I know how this goes. If anybody turned us on like in the last 10 minutes, they're like, how come he's not talking Dolphins? The title of the episode is Dolphins Tua Clunker. How come he's not talking Dolphins? I assure you, for those who tuned in late, we did talk a lot of Dolphins on this episode. You want to go back and restart the replay. If you include the Alfredo Arteaga interview, which was all Dolphins, we talked Dolphins for like the first 37 minutes of the show, something like that. So it was great fun talking about those guys. Thank you so much to Brooklyn Rob. He says only 3 books in high school explains a lot about your career choice. Oh yeah, I mean, I made my career choice purely based on enthusiasm and passion, no practicality whatsoever. As I went to business school, I could be like running a bank or something, but no, I decided to do this. This is way more fun. Estefan. Yes, Estefan, welcome in. Sir, I hope you had a wonderful weekend and you enjoyed that Dolphins victory yesterday. It's always fun beating the New York stinking Jets. It's always fun, especially when you see a defensive lineman catch a touchdown pass and a local product at running back who finally gets a chance to start, and he has a career game and actually the best output from a running back in a Miami Dolphins uniform all season long. No one had broken the century mark this year until Duke Johnson. That was fantastic. So thanks to Dougie Fresh for tuning in. Big Dan 305, who loved my decision to buy my kid a lightsaber instead of a book. Because, I mean, honestly, who wants to open up a book for Christmas? Like a 3-year-old kid? Does he really want to unwrap the present? Oh, another book. Thank you. He unwraps that lightsaber. Yeah, giddy up. Now we're on to something. Brooklyn Rob, I think I shouted him out already. He gets double shout out. Devin Jordan, thank you so much. Ray Grouillon, another one of my favorites. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Big John Stud, my guy. Yeah, and I watched the Dolphins game with Big John Stud at his house yesterday, and he had asked me, oh, I thought you were going to bring Luca, my son. And I said, no, if I bring him out here, he's going to break something in your house. The kid's very destructive. I give this kid a lightsaber, probably a bad move on my part because he's very hyper, very destructive, and I would not have been able to watch a second of the game with the kid running around. So maybe when he hits 4, he's going to be 4 years old in about 2 months. Maybe he'll get very docile and quiet. We'll see if that happens. John Nelson, thank you so much for tuning in today. David, thank you so much. We do need more advertising. We got to get Walmart on here. I've been singing Walmart's praises today. I got this wonderful shirt out there. B Smokey, thank you so much. Happy about the Dolphins W. I really wasn't bothered by the Heat loss to the Pistons, considering that the Bucks lost to the Pelicans and the Nets lost to the Magic the other night. That's good perspective. That is, because I wasn't that bothered by the Heat loss, just knowing how many guys have been out, right? Like, we were fortunate to win a couple of the games we won, so we lose a game we should win. It all evens out after a while. I think the Heat are a good team. Let's see, who else? Perfect Q, thank you so much. Zachary B, thank you for tuning in. Jermaine King, shout out. Barney O, shout out to you. Thank you so much for watching and commenting. Welch, love it. Thank you so much for commenting, sir. Chibi, the Edgehog, thank you so much for tuning in and commenting. I love it. Let's see, who else? This is when we start to see a lot of repeats. Mind over matter, thank you so much. Duke is a real Miami, and chill. He is a real Miami, Duke Johnson. That man is born, raised, and bred. Miami Norland, University of Miami, finally home with the Miami Dolphins. Andy from Scotland, by the way. He's from Scotland. He is in Kenya. He was telling me he travels a lot for work, and he is in Kenya this week. So he greeted us from out there. And it sounds like he was able to watch the Dolphins game out there. He probably found a stream. I don't know what time it was there when the Dolphins were playing yesterday, probably like late at night, but he was able to find a stream, which is awesome. Thank you for tuning in. G.A. Kane fan, another one of our chronics. Yeah, and he points out about my skin. Northern Italian skin is pale, closer to the Swiss. Yeah, I mean, my Italian father is from Northern Italy, although his father is from Southern Italy. But also, my mother is of Scandinavian descent, so the pale skin could very much have come from her as well, because her parents, my grandparents on her side, were Swedish and Danish. So I've got some of that heritage as well, all mixed in. And let's see, anybody else I haven't shouted out? Oh, Louis Sung Sr. I love it. The man, the myth, the legend. Great man. And also we love his son as well, Louis Sung Jr. from the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Thank you for tuning in. And I think that's pretty much it. If I missed anybody, I apologize. I try to shout out as many people as I can. And a huge shout out to Manny Chang, by the way. Awesome job behind the scenes as always. All right, my friends, we will talk to you guys again tomorrow, same time, same place, 3 p.m. right here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Ciao.